having a look at his options, he looks to be favouring the overs, but just wants to see if he can get onto the 13 early, because 13 is one of the only balls that is difficult for him at this stage. In fact, that may just squeak into the middle pocket. Plus the 1 and the 5, and maybe off the 4. Just being reminded by his opponent that he has the referee behind him, so don't step backwards or you will catch him. I'm just looking to see if that 13 will pass through that 1-5 gap. 14 probably not on, so different shot required. Extremely exact with this though, just a little bit out. Just catching the near jaw, and usually it spells doom for any attempted pot into the middle pocket. That sort of angle, sometimes it will catch the jaw and drop, but with a little bit of extra speed it didn't. Charlie now has the table. Charlie with some of the balls are quite close to each other, and you've got the 6 on the cushion. But if he can get onto the 4 nicely, and he'd have to do that up near the D end of the table, then he's every chance of a finish. Just working his way around the table now with the 2 into the corner. And I'll say this would be possibly to get into the 4. Run this past the 15, or even to stop it roughly where it is for the 5. Work on the 5, perhaps work on the 6 and the 7, and then maybe use the 4 for the 8. It doesn't look like he's got a shot on the 6 or the 7. The black's in the way. And he'd be doing well to see the 4 from here, because it looks like the 15's in the way. Not particularly difficult to hit 6 or 7, but you can't pop them directly anyway. As I've just been proved wrong, because yet again what I see is not exactly what it is. And 6 was on and Charlie duly dispatched it. Tony. And the 4 in fact on from the other end of the table, and he has left himself a nice little shot on the 7. Just pulling up the 4 back nicely. Perhaps stunned across a little bit too far. Stood up as if he didn't like where that white was going. About half that distance would have been perfect for him, but this is still on. A bit harder to cue from the cushion than it is when the ball is away from the cushion, but a player of Charlie's calibre should not have any problems with it. As I just put the commentator's curse on him. Sorry, Charlie. Five balls in the black, but the 5 balls are in a reasonable spot. The 11 does actually go into the black, into the pocket, but he won't need to worry about that because he hasn't managed to pop 14. In fact, he's left it stacked. And that black may very well cut into the middle pocket. It's past the middle pocket, but the white being away from that same cushion, that same long cushion, means that he may just have the angle. He'd have to hit this incredibly fine though. In fact, the double probably the better shot there. Didn't get it. And just apologising to Danny for leaving him an ugly 11. No intent to leave the black in the way. Just a byproduct of the shot, and Danny comes to the table. Lovely, easy, free-flowing stroke that Danny has. He's definitely much like his father in the fact that he generally plays an easy, carefree type of game. He likes to attack, as many young players do. But he is one of those young players who attacks but does have a brain to back it up. There's a lot of the problem that the young players have nowadays is you teach them to pot first and then safety is second, and then sometimes they will get found out by more experienced players who look to tie them up. But Danny, not one of those players. He's been around for longer than his age would suggest. He's, I believe, 24, I think, years of age. Been around for some time playing this game. Charlie just eyeing this double back into this corner pocket that he's situated over. Not able to get the connection he wants, just hitting the ball to the thin. Leaving it near the cushion, and Danny takes up the play. Nice little angle this. He could just hit it naturally, he'd be out for the 11, but he's deciding to put a bit of stun on it, and that's a beautiful shot. Out nicely for the 11. He's got the angle to work with now. Run around to all three cushions.
Schooner.
Get onto the black in either corner pocket. He's just working out his angle now. Probably looking top rail, left-hand rail on your TV, right-hand rail for the black. Well, that was the idea, and that's what would have happened had the pocket not gotten in the way. Touch unlucky. Saying he could have played safe, but I don't think he would have. Being the player he is, he's always going to have a go at that, and in this case, chancing his arm didn't quite come off. And the black for 2-0. Well, it took the long way in, but it went in. Just shaking his head as if to say, well, that was harder than it should have been. Had a few more shots in that frame than he would have liked to, but he gets the frame. He leads 2 frames to nothing over Danny Bowen. And it shows you the value of playing pocket weight, because any harder than it would have stayed over the pocket.
That was even harder, John, and got a knock on that.
Yeah. Charlie himself backing me up on that point. So Danny now has it all in front of him, 2-0 down in a race to 3. Charlie is at the table now with the break. And the break is unsuccessful. He has left all 15 colours on the table for Danny, and Danny will take up the attack with the overs. He needs to get it out for the 9. He was shaking his head because he wanted the 11 after the 10, but instead he is stuck with the 9, having to go around the gauntlet to get on the 11. Still not quite getting on it. Nice shot though on that 9 to get to there. It was a nice pot, but didn't get enough angle to get on the 11. He needed to come out closer to where the 1 and the 2 were. Unfortunately, he was unable to run around as he would have liked. Ex-partner Stevie Denton probably could have explained that shot a little better than I could. Just going for that long pot and drawing it. He's not going to die wondering, is our Danny Bowen. He I have told you many times he will go for whatever's not tied down. If it's not tied down, it's definitely going to be shot at. Charlie much the same way. He doesn't like to mess around with it. Just get up there and pot them. Just needing to sort out these 2 balls near the cushion, 4 and a 5, and 7 next to the black. Opportunity to perhaps double that ball now. That's it. The 4 will double as well, but instead taking what looks like the 1 for the corner, and that does not fall. Seeing something different than we did, and obviously thinking, well, Danny just left the 2 in the way. The 13 was on for that pocket until then. No matter though, because if he can see the same thing I can, then the 12 will sneak into that pocket past the 2, off the cushion, off the 2 and in, and clear the 2 away from the pocket for the 13. The 12 is the ball to get on. If you can get on reasonably straight for that, and he's got that shot, he's going to run around the table for it, but he needs to watch out for the off, which doesn't happen. He may in fact have the angle on this shot, a natural cut in the middle to get the 2 away. He's a little bit unlucky on both fronts. He didn't get the pot and he didn't get the 2 to clear away from the pocket. We're just having some raffle results announced behind us. This is possibly the noise you can hear. Charlie eyeing up whether that 7 will cut in either the middle or corner pockets, or whether he can go up and down the table and promote any of those 3 balls. Trying to promote those balls, put them near the corner pocket. He didn't get enough weight on it. Well, he's got the opportunity now with a few of Charlie's balls tied up. He can elect to just get that 2 out of there, get the 13, either double it or into the cushion and kick the 2 away. It's always dangerous, so this sort of shot is fraught with danger at this time of the frame. Needing to lean over the 1 as well. It's not overly tall. The 7 is, sorry, the 13 is not going where he wanted that to go. Just into that bunch of balls, just to make it awkward for you. Well, there was that double we were talking about before. It didn't eventuate, but it has ended up in a much better place than it was. It is now able to be more readily potted. And only now that he's put 13 where it is, around those balls, it now means that he's perhaps got to take a risk. If he wants to pot it, he'll probably open up every ball, 4, 5, 6. And they're just waiting for Peter Mortensen on table 18 to clear the way, so that then he can have a look at this shot on the 13. And there he is, not dying wondering. No dice with that pot attempt, but it was a mightily good try. And that will put just a little bit more pressure on Charlie to finish this frame. He does have a couple of safety options if he wants them, but I would imagine if the finish being on, he'll play for it. It's to go around the black so he can sight the 7 or get the one nearer the other corner pocket, or get underneath it and get it towards the middle of the table. Four now becomes the ball that you want to get himself good position on, because it could very well be the last ball he plays. If he can get himself in a wee angle on the 4, then he can run the 4 down the rail, get on the black, but that's a few shots in the future, and right now we're in the present, the 6. In fact, the 6 to the 4 is probably the option to go. The 1 being extremely on from there, he's leaving the white ball next to the 1. You can pop the 1 and then have that angle for the 4. He just stuns that in. And he big hit. Do a little screw back shot. Knock the 4 into the corner pocket, get back across the table for the black in the opposite corner. Needs to be very, very exact though if he's going to do that. We were mentioning before about how these pockets like to spit if you're not quite there. They do not like a bit of force applied, especially if you are not right in the middle of the pocket with it. As it was, he's deciding to play the double instead of forcing it, and the ball's still over the pocket, unable to pot. He's got a shot to win it here. It must be, if he wants this frame, it must be. It's on commentary, right? Do or die, that's for Dan. And, well, nothing went right there. No pot promotes the black and goes an off. Sometimes you just don't have it go your way. The effort sometimes does not come out the way you want. Now needs the 4, needs to avoid the 13 though. It's still not given, as we have just proven, as Charlie has just proven to us, this is not a given. He does have the double, but he wanted to get back for the black in the opposite corner pocket. So just having to wait that shot, perhaps taking away from the concentration, maybe thinking too much about the white ball, about the ball, not the white ball, and thinking about the black more than what he was actually meaning to do on the shot. I'm going for the cut. Well, he went for the cut and he missed it, and the 13 is on. He's gone behind the 13. Corner pocket, and then the black. It's just a case of doing it, which Danny can't. And in fact, he's just conceded the frame. Realises that Charlie has pretty much a straight poke at the black. 3-0 to Charlie Schooner this over Danny Bowen. We will catch you up tomorrow for some more live pool.